Hi everyone, and welcome to a new video. In this video, I'll update you on the game that I'm working on called Night Before Dawn. I updated the map, finished Monster, and started working on lobby, actually. It's the lobby for the game. Now remember, this is all kind of like weird core, dream core, whatever type like mystical dream stuff. So be prepared to get a lot of weird stuff in this video. Enjoy the video, sit back and relax and get some snacks. Okay, so I added a bunch of little things to the game that wasn't in the game before that makes it feel a lot more smoother. We have, of course, the loading screen, right? Then once the loading screen is done, ow, you get to, I just slammed my hand into my keyboard, whoops. You get the card event, which then has the lurker, the crawler, and the rotting thrower. The blood card, pretty much, we're gonna have different card types, like purple, blood, reds, maybe some golds, whatever. They just symbolize different things. This one is gonna instant kill you, I'm pretty sure, but we're gonna change that actually. I'll explain that probably later in the video or just in a different video. Anyways, then after when you choose a card, it goes straight into night 1. Whoops, that's a little bit of a spoiler, hold on. But once you actually activate a night, what happens is, of course, the monsters start coming to you. Now the lurker has been changed. If I show you, where is it? There it is. So I actually drew these, and the lurker, of course, has 4 stages. It changes, so it gets more and more excited. So it is to jump scare you, and you can flash it down with a flashlight. So that's really, really cool, really awesome. Works great also, really. I really love it. So this is probably a completely finished design. Of course, if you let it jump scare you, you're gonna get blinded and stuff. So for a short period of time, which I'll show you what that looks like right now. Very simple effect, little jump scare effect, and then you get really blinded for a short period of time until you can see. But yeah, that's what we have done. And then it's gonna get to moon. It's gonna get to morning pretty soon here. But once it gets to morning, the lurker stops. So it just got to morning and the lurker stopped. I don't know what I'm gonna do to show that it's morning because it kind of just happens abruptly and I still need to edit it. But whatever. Anyways, let's do night 2, see what we get. Okay, so I also added events to the game. What events are very, very, very small chances. I think it's like a 25% chance for a common event, 15% chance for a rare event, and a 5% chance for a special. They put up the chances on the screen now, just to make sure I'm doing it correct. I'm saying it correctly. But we only have 2 events in so far, which is the fog event. See what that looks like. There we go. The fog. We're going to be changing the sound effects too, by the way, because that sound effect is meme to death.
Hello, I am Mr. Beast. The fog is coming. The fog is coming. The fog is coming. The fog is coming.
But that's the fog is coming. The fog is coming. Anyways, once the night is over, the event will end. So let me just go ahead and skip this night. There we go. So skipping the night causes the event to end, and of course every 2 nights you have a card. You have to choose a new card. I'm just going to choose lurker again because right now we haven't really added in the game where you could just kind of keep on choosing the same monster over and over again. We need to probably fix that. Oh, and here's the other event, Blood Moon. This one is pretty intense. Everything becomes, I think, attacking. Spawn rate becomes 2 times faster. Attacking becomes 1.5 times faster, I think. So everything becomes faster. And we have this music that plays, which we're going to probably change it with our own custom music. Because this is still not a very original music. This is just free Roblox music. But I just thought it fit it. Yeah, Blood Moons are a rare event. Now you can see that the lurker's spawning a lot more than usual. And his attack speed is 1.4% faster. Yep, and there we go. Blood Moon has ended. And now it's morning. I'll talk about the map later in the video. It looks very different. That's because I updated. So you get all that good stuff. But I'm pretty sure that's pretty much it for the main gameplay. Of course, just in the background, when you actually do die, so for example, if you die, everything pauses. So all the monsters stop and the night pauses until you respawn again. So until you continue the game. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this section, I guess. Let's go back to past Sunrave because I'm recording this in the future. So let's go back to past Sunrave. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna update the map again. Now I know that we already have an updated map, which is the forest, and the forest is fine and cool and chill. I like the forest. But because this is a dream, I really want to get into like the dream vibe, and having just a forest feels very basic. Like, yeah, sure, it's spooky, but it's very basic, and I don't like that. I don't want to be. I feel like we could do so much more if we just really leaned into what we already have set in the dream realm, right? This is the nightmare realm, whatever. And I'm taking that, I'm taking these ideas, and now we're gonna do a little bit of something. I'll show you what I've been thinking. I actually have concept art that I wanted to show you here. That are, it's like these giant, it's this empty void of a house surrounded by like these giant vines and like branches, I guess. And those branches are actually neural pathways through the house, through areas and everything like that, symbolizing, you know, just as I said, neural pathways. Just because like this is supposed to be in the mind, so. But what this opportunity gives us is a lot of creepy stuff. So if the player will look outside and see an empty void with like, you know, very little around them, and then when they get outside, it's gonna be terrifying to see that empty. You're gonna look off into the empty void and see nothing. It'll be amazing. Very, very cool. Okay, I'm gonna save a copy of this because it is extremely important to be saving copies of this. Just because, especially because I'm making such a big change right now and the whole map might break because of what my simple change is. I can't be doing stuff like that. So I'm gonna move it by an inch and move this, and that's it. It's literally all I'm gonna be doing. And it should create some warpness when playing. So we'll see. I don't know if that's going to break anything. Yeah, so now the map is a tiny bit turned. Like the whole map is slightly turned. I might make it a little bit more. Let's see. This is me just adjusting the angle of the house because the roots or the neuron, whatever, brain neuron stuff will be holding up the house. I want to kind of have the house slightly tilted, and it also creates kind of like an uncomfortable environment for the player because everything looks normal from inside, but when you look at the close details, you're going to notice that the house is a little bit warped and like just a little bit turned. So it will bring a sense of eeriness that cannot be visually seen, but only kind of like emotionally thought, if that makes sense. It will affect your brain and to be like, this is not how a house should be. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so we have the environment. I think this is all right for the start. We have a bunch of roots coming out, all different directions, all different types of craziness happening here. And they're holding up the house. I thought it was a really cool effect that the house is slightly moved, is slightly tilted. And so inside, you think, oh yeah, this is normal, right? It's just a slightly tilted house, that's weird. When you look outside, you'll see some roots, some long bits and just empty void. You're like, what? That's weird, that's weird. I'm also thinking about having like floating trees and stuff, and like floating like light poles and stuff, because this is a dream again, of course. Right now I'm just putting where they're probably the most important, where they're viewed. And then what I'm going to do, which is probably the best way of doing this, is to make an HDRI, which is pretty much like a skybox, I would say, like just like sky that's around the player, and they'll see the void around. It's pretty cool. Okay, so I know this seems like a little bit ridiculous, but I've been messing around with the sky boxes. This is what I'm talking about, the little sky boxes. Actually, yeah, that is. I just wanted to see what I could do, and making sure that this is the right skyboxes, which I found the right ones, so I know the right ones now. Anyways, I need what I'm going to now look up is, just for the time being as a placeholder, void, and I'll make a custom one later. But yeah, I've actually created the HDRI/skybox of the Nightmare Realm, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Boom, boom, boom. Look at this. Look at this, dude. So it's pretty interesting. You get to see all of the branches like kind of going around instantly. Pretty crazy. If it looks a little bit empty, that's the point. We're gonna have like objects and stuff in here. So for example, I have like a plane here. You can kind of see what that would look like. Looking around and seeing that, it's a little bit hard to see and understand like how far those branches are from the camera, but they're pretty darn far. The real important part is actually looking and seeing like, oh, okay, how is this going to look like in the game, you know? Okay, so I've created the effect that I think I'm going for. This might be changed, most likely will be changed later. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So if you spawn in, get the FNAF sounds. I love the FNAF sounds as placeholders. But, you know, if you click, you know, choose card, blah, 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 card, the house seems okay. It's slightly turned. You can kind of tell it's slightly turned. But if you look outside, you'll see some stuff, some roots, some long bits and pieces. Sitting outside at night, you'll see like stars and stuff. I don't know if I'm probably gonna change that, to be honest. Yeah, roots and stuff all around here. Then when it turns day, so let me skip night real quick. You'll see all of this, all of these roots here. I wish I could pause tonight. I need to code that in. But all of this is roots. All of this is roots and brain waves and all this like crazy, weird, creepy stuff. So I think I actually got really close to the reference that I made in Roblox at least. I'm not too happy about it, but I'm okay with it. So I think it's alright. And pretty alright. I'm happy about it. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. This idea of like these branches being like brain waves and the void. We could put a lot of like scary things floating here, like giant skeleton snakes or giant creepy things walking in the distance and stuff out of view. Okay, so now that we have like at least one of the nightmares of many, because there's gonna be a lot of nightmares that you can experience throughout this entire game. Now you can see me working on the dreamscape, which will be the lobby where you can get a lot of different things and interact with people. Now I didn't like this at all. I really just like scratched this whole tile like weird island thing, and I made it a lot better later. And here you can see me actually doing research on like different like dreamscape areas and different dreamscape games and like what is, or dream core really, right? That's dream core. So I'm just trying to get like the feel of the vibe that I want and making sure that I'm like taking the right inspiration from, you know, the right stuff because I don't want it to not feel like dreamcore. This is the style that we're going for the dreamscape. So it is, I just want to make sure it is good. It is, you know, clearly dreamscape, clearly dreamcore, you know, and trying to make sure that everything fits and is like unsettling, but also like dreamcore where it's all nice and pretty. So I don't know, it's a blend between the two, you know. So now you're going to see an aftermath of what I compiled all together to create my new vision for the dreamscape. I went and found a lot of references online of like kind of what I want for the dreamscape. We have like, and also I made like a super duper simple map, pretty much just saying this is the shop, this is the bestiary area, this is where the dream area is going to be. And then for like different maps, by the way, dreams are different maps that you can go to, whatever. Then I was thinking like this could be like what paths look like in the dreamscape. Of course, we're not gonna have all these mushrooms or all this crazy just random stuff. I don't even know what all this stuff is, which is mainly the paths, like being like checkered paths. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, we have lots of different ideas here that I love. I was thinking we could put some trees. I was thinking that we could put this guy as like the sun looking down at you, maybe something similar to that. eyeballs in the clouds, stuff like that. Very, very cool. Then I also was thinking that in the dream space, so you'll like literally walk inside of a cloud and climb down in these like infinite cloud areas, or like just these blocks that are textured with cloud textures, I guess. And then as you go down, there will be like this line of doors that you have to unlock to get into a dream. Each door represents that dream. So I was thinking like that. Thinking something like that. Let's go ahead and start on it. Okay, so I got the whole starting map to a place where I don't mind it. I think it's an okay start. Again, we don't have like buildings or anything that actually like represents, you know, areas that would be the shop and the monster bestiary, and we have a little bit of the nightmare part here. Of course, this thing right here, just this platform just teleports you to the first map, but I'm okay with this. I'm not like super happy with it, but we definitely need to fix it up. The one thing I wanted to check real quick actually before we do anything. Okay, so yeah, we have the teleport here. Then, so yeah, in the clouds. Oh wait, you can't see it anymore. It doesn't do it anymore. I need to change the script. But the eyes in the clouds, they're gonna make you. They're gonna start staring at you. I need to probably edit that. Why do I walk like an old man? What the heck? What? Dude, what is this? What the heck? Oh my god, whatever. I also added this little bit just because I like this little weird random swing out in the distance. That's kind of cool. Yeah, this definitely needs to be edited. I think this is okay. Not the best, of course, but you know, a start. So I want to get your guys' opinions of what I could add to this, you know, maybe like flying eyeballs. Of course, we're going to add like not flying, eyeballs as flowers, eye flowers and stuff like that. So just little things like that would be pretty darn cool. Okay, so I did some final little touch-ups to the dreamscape area. Some fixing. I was so demotivated yesterday. I didn't know what to do. The dreamscape is hard because there's a very certain style I want with it, and it's not impossible, but it's real hard to create that style that I have in my brain. Anyways, so we have the spawn here, of course, was the pass, as I was telling you. I'm going to change the pass texture just because the way it is transitioning is horrible. It's like horrendous the way it is. It's not very seamless, which is, I'm trying to make it seamless. But I added these flowers that actually do stare at you. So all of these flowers stare at you, and same thing with the clouds. They actually do stare at you, which I thought was pretty cool. Then I added rocks, of course, little dust in the air to add like a very magical misroll effect throughout the dreamscape. Then let's see, what else did I add? I changed this back to a texture. I don't know if I'll have this in the footage, but this was a like super reflective object now, before, but now it's just like a texture. Don't know. Anyways, I actually do have a little bit of more of a clearer idea of what I'm going to do with this. I'm gonna probably cut out a hole here and then make it where it's like a ladder going into this place, and I'm gonna have a couple pictures while I'm explaining this. But with that ladder, when you go down that, you'll have this kind of endless hallway with a lot of different doors on the sides, and those doors will help be like different dreams, and you have to complete one door before you can get to the other dream. All that good stuff. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I added butterflies too. Oh my god, there's a tiny little pebble that's just floating. What the heck? Anyways, yep, added butterflies. So, cool beans. Cool beans. Anyways, I wanted to get your guys' opinions about it and down in the comments. Maybe what I should change, maybe what I should add. I like to hear your guys' thoughts on the video game. Whatever. So yeah, this is the Dreamscape, the good place. Tell me what you guys think. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Of course, if you want to go check out the Discord, that'd be amazing. We're actually hosting a Q&A on the Discord and hosting it live on this channel. It should be tomorrow. I did get this video out very, very late, and I wanted to, just because, like, I'm back into college. Life happens. You know, it is what it is. You know, so. Anyways, if you want more like announcements, sneak peeks, and more interesting, if you're interested in the creation of this game at all, please go check out the Discord below, down in the comments, and in the description. There we go. What the heck? Anyways, you all have a wonderful morning, night, and afternoon. Peace